Good evening, colleagues. I'm just checking to see whether my audio is clear.
Evening, Kashifa. Yes, it's clear.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Recording in progress.
Good evening, members. Evening, members. It's Nelly, so just waiting for a few members to join the meeting. We only have
Good evening, Nelly.
so far 6 and 5 of them are 4 are full-time and 2 are alternate. So if we can give them 2 minutes, I'll try and check.
Thank you, Nelly.
Good evening, members. We are waiting for Honorable Kanyile and Kaula to join the meeting, then we can start the meeting. Currently, we have 8 members who has already joined, and one is an alternate, so it's 7 full-time members. And the reason why we're waiting for all members is just to ensure that when we elected the chairperson of the committee, members should all join the meeting, then we can continue. I've just contacted Honorable Kaula. She said she's going to join now, but she has a problem with network. But members, we have 7 members. If you feel like we want to start the meeting, we can start because we do have quorum. Thank you, members.
If I may ask on my side.
Yes, Honorable Chauke.
Thank you very much. I just want to ask, when we are electing a chairperson, is this the election of acting chairperson? Is this correct?
No, Honorable Chauke, I was informed by my management that we should elect the chairperson of the committee, because in terms of the ATC that we received today, the previous chair is no longer a member of the committee. So we need to elect the chairperson who will take that role and continue with the activities of the committee. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, noted very much. And then also just want to lastly find out if the last question that you asked was that if we are comfortable to move on because we do meet a quorum, is that correct?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I see Honorable Kaule has joined. I see the hand of Honorable Spies. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi, I'm just somewhere where it is a bit noisy. Can you hear me? Can you
Yes, we
hear
can
me?
hear you. Yes, we can
Okay.
hear you.
I just want, Melissa, with the information you shared, and maybe it's just important that maybe you send members that have not seen the ATC, and that members just do see the ATC and what it says in terms of the former chairperson not being part of the committee, which makes it official. If that is possible, that you could maybe get on the deck.
I didn't hear you correctly. Are you saying you want me to send that ATC to members?
Yeah, no, yeah, I've seen it, but if members haven't seen it, can you put it on the group?
Oh, okay. You want me to share it?
Yes, because the members know it is official. Not
Yes,
that we
okay.
don't believe you, Nelly. Just
Yes,
for
I hear you. I hear
record
you.
purposes. Yes, thank you.
All right. Let me share it now.
But comrade, it was sent to all of us, unless if there are members that did not receive it.
It sounds like members haven't seen it. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
please send.
was communicated.
I didn't see it.
Nelisa, if I may,
Yes, Honorable Chauke.
I think what you can do for us, if there are members who have not seen the ATC, perhaps you can just take us through that, and perhaps in the interest of time as well, you did indicate that we do have all committee members on the platform. Perhaps we can then start with the meeting and the proceeding of the day and start with that election process, and then you just take us through. That would be my submission.
Thanks, Honorable Member. I can start with the meeting right now. Sorry, I have flu also. Okay. Okay, thank you, honorable members, and to my colleague, welcome. My name is Neliswa Nzubatana, and my role is to elect the chairperson of the committee. As I've just indicated, I don't know if members can hear me. As my voice is bad, I have flu. As I've just indicated, the chairperson of the previous chair is no longer a member of the committee, and therefore the committee doesn't have a meeting, and which means that we cannot continue with the business of the day without the chairperson. And this means that in terms of the NA Rule 158, where the committee must elect a chairperson, we will continue with the business of the committee. And before I do that, I will do a roll call before I can go to the nomination of the chairperson, just for a minute. I have on the platform Honorable Father Meve, I have Honorable Peterson, Honorable Matri, Honorable Adams, Honorable Shamagu, Honorable Solteti, Honorable Adonis, Chauke Adonis, Honorable Spies, Honorable Kaula, and Dr. Ditlape, who's an alternate of the committee. Those are the members that I have. In terms of the numbers, we do correct because we need the majority of the members to be part of the committee. We have about 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 full-time members and 2 alternate. And with this information, member, I now call for the nomination of the chairperson. I'm handing over to you, members.
Hand is up.
Honorable Matri.
Yes, thank you very much, Nelly. I would like to nominate the name of Lizel van der Merwe as chairperson of the committee.
Thank you, Honorable Matri. But in terms of the rule, Honorable Matri, it's only the members, the full-time members, who are supposed to nominate and who have the voting right. Yes. So I will call them. Yes. I will. Are there any other members? Oh, I see. Honorable Adams.
My name.
Oh, Honorable
Thank
Spies.
you.
Over to you, Honorable Adams.
Sorry, I got a cough. Yes, I will nominate wanted to propose the name of, but I think I heard that you said Comrade Gustapi is an alternative member. Please correct me.
Yes, ma'am, she is the alternate member. Full-time members have all the voting rights. Thank you, ma'am. So you can nominate.
Okay, then I withdraw my proposal. Thank you.
Nelly,
If
can
I may,
just,
I think I did raise my hand.
I've also raised my hand long ago.
I'm not sure what's happening. I can't see the names here. Honorable, is it Spies?
Yes, Nelly was.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to nominate the name of Honorable Lizel van der Merwe as chairperson.
I thank you, Honorable.
I
Any
second.
seconder?
I second. Honorable Chauke seconds the name of Honorable Lizel van der Merwe.
Also
Thank
second.
you. Thank you, honorable members. Honorable van der Merwe, do you accept the nominations? Honorable van der Merwe.
Good evening, Ms. Novatana. Good evening to the honourable members. I do accept the nomination.
Thank you, Honorable van der Merwe. Are there any other further nomination?
Now
In
I
the
think we can close the nominations.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Adams. I will then hand over to Honorable Adams to continue with the meeting. I thank you, members.
Thank you very much, Nelly. I think you wanted to say the Honourable van der Merwe. Members, I know that the meeting is now running a little bit late, and I know it's been a long day. I'm not going to make any remarks. I think I will leave that for the next meeting, Tuesday when we meet. But thank you very much for the support and the opportunity. And I know that we will make this committee, well, it's already started as a very great committee that wants to serve the interests of women, youth and persons with disabilities, and we will do just that. So I think we will go straight over. Nelly has already given us the people who are in attendance. Nelly, I want to ask whether there are any apologies before we move over to consider the BRRR report before us.
Thank you, Chairperson. Yes, I've received 2 apologies. It's from Honorable Gasa and Honorable Altana. Both are from the MK Mkhonto Wesizwe Party. They indicated that they have their own party caucus, which clashes with our committee meeting. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nobatana. I'm going to then ask Ms. Abrams to please take us through the BRRR. We did meet on Tuesday. We did go through the report. I do know that we were given time this week to consider the report and to make any further inputs. I know Ms. Gasa has made some inputs via email, and I know some changes or some additions were captured. Ms. Abrams, can I give over to you so that you take us through the recommendations, and then I will ask the committee to give further inputs if they do have those, please.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'd just like Nelisa to be able to give me some sharing rights so that I can share the screen, please. Thank you, Nelisa. If you can give me co-hosting.
It's
There we
done.
go. Okay, thank you. Chairperson, as I've indicated in the email with the updated document in front of us for BRRR, we included the one comment you had made, which under the observations and the recommendations that pertain to the 2 audit findings, and then the comments from the Honourable Gasa, we highlighted in yellow. So I'll just go straight to that because we would need committee's guidance as to your input in relation to that. So I'll just move straight to where those comments were. They were mainly under observations. I've highlighted them in yellow, so I'm just going specifically to that particular comment. Sorry if you just be with me. So under the general comment, it related to the absence of clear performance indicators. The comment from Ms. Gasa was that the report failed to provide specific metrics or criteria for assessing the department's strategic priorities. However, the department did provide commentary on the strategic priorities, and what the BRRR is a reflection of the discussions had with all 3 entities, department, CG, NYDA, as well as the AG and ARC. So if we can just get guidance, Chairperson, in terms of the first comment that was provided by Ms. Gasa. It's the one in yellow, whether it should be kept as is. If we can get guidance, please. Thank you.
Honourable members, there is a suggestion here from the Honourable Gasa. It reads, absence of clear performance indicators. The report fails to provide specific metrics or criteria for assessing the success of the department's strategic priorities for 2020-2025 without defined performance indicators evaluating whether the department is achieving its goals or utilizing resources effectively becomes challenging. A robust framework for outcome evaluation is critical for ensuring accountability and improvement. Is this a suggestion that honourable members would like to keep? Can I please just get some views on that? The whip of the committee, Honourable Chauke.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. I would like to appreciate the submission that has been made, but one would then want to sort of argue to say that in terms of the targets or the goals that have been set by the department, I think they were quite clearly defined in the presentation to an extent where they did indicate the targets that they did not meet. So perhaps the wording they could change, perhaps just to give a true or a fair reflection of what was in the presentation that was provided by the department in terms of the goals that they are meeting, but also the methods of measuring the impact as well. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Whip. I think that is a sound proposal. Honourable Abrams, will you still be able to change the wording? Honourable
Chairperson.
Ms. Abrams, I made you an
what-
honourable member for a minute. Apologies.
No, what I can do is, as Ms. Chauke suggested, so the focus is really on the committee reiterates the importance of a robust framework for outcome evaluation to ensure accountability of the department's performance. Would that work better?
Honourable Chauke, are you happy with that?
Yes, I am. I think then that gives us, in terms of the reflection on how the committee looks to ensure that the department does improve, but also its expectation. I think that is properly and adequately restructured in terms of its wording from my side.
Agreed. Okay. Honourable members, I take it, if there's no further hands, that we are happy with that reworked comment or proposal.
Agree.
Yes, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to move to the next.
Wait, Ms. Abrams, just wait. I see two other hands. Ms. Shabango. Honourable Shabango.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations as our new chairperson. I'll talk Zulu now that you are here.
Pluma, Mama. Pluma.
I'm the part that we're dealing with now. I'm not on the. I'm fine with that one. And I was looking at the report, then I saw the highlights. Now I'm clarified why it was highlighted. It's just one small thing that I wanted to correct right at the beginning. Not on the observation and recommendation, it's just fixing of a sentence. They on page 6, just that, then I'm done. Otherwise, what we're discussing, I'm fine with it. Page 6, para 6.1 under NDP, then paragraph 2, line 3. I think we left the report left out persons when you say. Can't go back to it now. Somewhere there it says youth and disability.
Okay.
It's a youth and person with disability. Just that correction. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Honourable Shabango, and thank you for those words of congratulations and for picking that up. I also see the hand of the Honourable Tsotsetsi.
Yeah, it's Honorable Potete, Chair.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thanks,
Honourable member.
and likewise, let me start by congratulating you.
Thank you, Honourable.
I hope that I will be in order, but I'm looking at 10.2, which speaks to Program 2 on mainstreaming of women's rights and advocacy, jointly with 10.4, which speak to Program 4, mainstreaming of youth and persons with disabilities rights and advocacy. My thinking along these lines that you'll remember that we would have said to the department that their first point of mainstreaming would be within the public sector, in as far as ensuring that in terms of equity, the minimum threshold is achieved by each of these departments. That you would expect that 3% of people with disability or 2 is achieved, 30% of young people is achieved in terms of their labor force. Now, throughout the interactions with the committees and the departments, the Auditor General's report has indicated a number of instances where this minimum threshold has not been reached. You go to other departments, there would be a lower number in terms of accommodation of people with disability and so forth. So I thought, given that background, that perhaps we add into the forward in terms of Program 4 and Program 2, that we remember the forward that maybe we encourage that these departments within the financial year, they must at least strive towards ensuring that they reach all this threshold. That is if such is in order. But if it requires, I said, a different set of a meeting, then I would still understand. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honourable Member. I think those proposals are sound. Ms. Abrams, in our recommendations, we do speak about the need for this department to meet its 2% target of the employment of people with disabilities. Am I correct? Or we don't have it as one of the recommendations? Ms. Abrams?
Yes, Chairperson, we do. Let me just find that particular recommendations. Sorry, the document is quite long. So these are the recommendations pertaining to Program 3. Moving on to specifically Program 4, we had a general recommendation, one related to the council, one related to the rights, and here's the specific in terms of target. So the committee notes with concern the slow pace of progress within government to implement the 2% target, and the revised targets have been increased in order to give effect to the white paper on the rights of persons with disabilities. So that revised targets is in relation to 3% for this year. And by the time the white paper is meant to come to fruition in terms of its longevity, the idea was to reach 7%. So however, the committee maintains that without enforcement and consequent management for non-compliance, the status quo would remain. So this is definitely the target we've set out in relation to persons with disabilities. Would that suffice for members, or would you like it stronger?
No, I think we do need to make it stronger. I think with regard to this department not meeting the 2% target, I think there's no excuse for that. And I think we need to be a little bit stronger with them to ensure that, as the honourable member said, in this next financial year, we at least meet that target. But I see again the hands of our Honourable Whip, Honourable Chauke, followed by the Honourable Spies.
Chairperson, sorry, sorry. So just to reiterate to members, our department, when it comes to the employment of persons with disabilities within the department, they've exceeded their target. Because in that additional responses to the committee, they laid out of the 7 people that they've employed were the persons with visual impairments, physical disabilities, and so forth. So they've definitely exceeded the 2% target. The problem I think members are saying is that within government broadly, that 2% target hasn't been met. The white paper is weak, and there's no consequence management for departments not meeting the 2% target. So that's where the dilemma is in terms of the department for M&E of this target, as well as consequence management for non-compliance by government departments and entities.
Correct. Okay, Ms. Abrams, let's just hear what the Honourable Spies and the Honourable Chauke wants to give us inputs on this matter. Over to you, and then followed by Makaula.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. Okay, Comrade Spies.
No. Honourable Chauke, you can go.
Okay, Honourable Spies, thank you very much. Chairperson, I think just perhaps if one can also just get clarity on this particular one in terms of equity targets for the department specifically. If I am correct, the department had presented that they did not meet the target when it comes to persons with disabilities. If I am correct, it was sitting at 1.6%, if I'm correct, but they had not reached that 2% target. But also the department had undertaken signing into legislation that there's an increase from the 2% to 3% from in the past or in the previous financial year. So maybe perhaps it's for us to reinforce that and to just get clarity on whether the department itself met that particular 2% target, because if I'm correct, they said they did not meet the 2% target. And then the second part, it's to say that the increase of the 2% to 3%, what is that translating into? Has it been legislated or not? And then lastly, and I think this is what what's this comrade or let me say colleague Neliso was speaking to or making reference to, which would be the recommendation to say, how does the department then ensure or hold other government department and entities accountable to ensuring that they are meeting their equity targets? So that one needs to be on what is this consequence management as well. And the department as an oversight body of government or arm of governance, being able to hold the government entities accountable in meeting their targets. So it's 2 elements: the department itself, and then the oversight or overall role of the department over the rest of the other departments, ensuring the equities are met. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, our Whip, Honourable Spies.
Thank you, Chairperson. Mine is with regards to the letter that Honourable Chauke has mentioned, and that is with regards to the targets and the equity targets with regards to the other entities that I believe we really need to be very strong, much more stronger on. And I would like that to reflect or to be captured in the report. And that to me is important, because that is something that I think I've raised in terms of persons with disabilities. And there's a few things that I think we as a committee can do and suggest that would actually assist in raising that target, but that is for another day.
It looks like it stays with us. We are in
What is
this thing called now?
Who is speaking now, Chair?
Honourable members, please may I ask that you please mute your devices.
Things will happen. I believe that we have to pay.
What's happening?
Honourable members, Honourable Speakers on the floor.
I think it's Honourable Megan.
It's okay. I'm done, Chair. I'm sorry.
No,
Thank
I
you.
am muted. I am muted.
I don't know what happened there. But I'm
Okay.
fine. Did you hear me clearly, Chairperson?
I want you to just repeat
Yeah.
your points just
So
briefly, Honourable Speaker.
mine is in particular with the latter part that Honourable Chauke mentioned, and Nelly's is on the equity targets in terms of the other departments or government entities that I believe we need to come out much more stronger, and that should be reflecting in the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Spees. Might I also just apologize for my video currently being off? I'm in Ulundi, ahead of the funeral of my colleague, Honourable Angela, Princess Angela Buthelezi, and we don't have good signal here. So I am just trying to keep my video off for that purposes. Ms. Abrams, have you been able to capture what members want in terms of making our recommendation a little bit stronger? I also concur with the Honourable Chauke. I don't remember the department telling us or briefing us that they had met the 2% target or exceeded it. I recall, she recalls 1.6%, meeting a 1.6% target. I somehow recall 1.8%. Can you just, because she asked the question, if you can just clarify us on that?
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to share the document we received from the department. So as members can see, the request was for the additional categories of persons with disabilities employed by the department. So there were 7 officials, 3 with visual, 1 mobility impairment, 1 major depressive episode, and 2 partially visual impairment. So that's the total number of persons with disabilities. What I can do is, Crystal, can you just double check for me? I think we had, in terms of 7 of the total number of employed persons within the department, and then we can exactly establish what that 7 equates to in terms of percentage. If that's fine, if that's fine, Chairperson. So those are the 7 officials. We're going to check 7 against the total number employed, and then we can come back to that one. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine, because I don't think that meets the target, Ms. Abrams, but let's do that. Let's check. I see the hands of Honourable Spees and Honourable Chauke and other members are up again. Is it legacy hands, or do you want to?
That's a legacy hand, sorry.
Thank you, Honourable
Apologies,
Spees.
legacy hand.
Thank you, colleagues. Thank you. Okay, let's proceed, Honourable Abrams. Let's go to the further.
My one is not a legacy hand, Chair.
Oh, sorry, Honourable Member. Please continue.
Yeah, I just thought I must emphasize the point which I was making, that for me, I think the department would have done relatively well in as far as equity targets concerned. But the point is that, and that's why I was locating it within the program 2 and program 4. The point is that I think much emphasis need to be put on other departments reaching their own targets. That's why I thought that it may just not needed to come perhaps as a forward or just as a separate part of recommendation within the recommendations, to say that as part of advocacy, we would really recommend that other public sector department must then ensure that they fulfill these equity targets within the next financial year, so that we don't get hamstrung in a single department without necessarily driving the broader mandate of the very department that we're talking to. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Honourable Abrams, Ms. Abrams, can we still, under our recommendations, add, or are you adding now? Because I think the point is a point that we want to drive home, that we want all other government departments to meet their targets, because the 2% already is so low, and we want this department to execute its mandate by making sure that it ensures that other government departments comply with their targets. So I think it's an important point to add. Okay, you are adding as we are speaking.
Chairperson, for Ms. Adonis, and as per the request from members, the committee reiterates that all government departments and entities meet the employment equity target for persons with disabilities within the coming financial year. Would that suffice, Chair and members?
I think so. Honourable members? We're happy
Yes,
to
agree.
proceed.
Yes, Chair, I think that's fine.
Thank you so much, honourable members. Thank you, Ms. Abrams, for that. Then let us continue with the
Yeah, we're going to
recommendation.
go back. Yes. So
Yeah, okay.
we still need to go back to the additional input we received from Ms. Gasa. It was in relation to finance as well as the core program. So we'll go to the finance first, and then we'll move down to the core programs in terms of input.
That's fine.
So with regards to the input received, on the first point, it was lack of detail on expenditures as noted on page 20, table 3, and this was in reference to the BRRR. The report reveals a concerning increase in travel and subsistence expenses from 4 million rand to 23 million. The absence of a detailed breakdown raises significant questions about the allocation of taxpayer funds. Transparency is crucial for ensuring effective use of resources and preventing wasteful expenditures. Therefore, a thorough accounting of these costs is essential for accountability. Chairperson and members, the department did provide us with a detailed breakdown of their international travel. So in the latter part of the PowerPoint presentation, they actually go through during the financial year 23-24, these were the trips, and for each trip, they indicate the purpose, who went along, and the cost. So the our actual report and this table 3, what it indicated was that between the financial year 2020 to 2021, up until 2023 to 24, yes, there was an increase. But in terms of what they spent it on for the year under review, they did provide us with details. So that's the first comment in terms of lack of detail on expenditures. The information was provided. With respect to the irregular expenditure reporting, which we received input on page 91, 16.3D, again, that's in reference to our BRRR. While the report pledges quarterly updates on irregular and wasteful expenditures, it fails to provide specific mechanisms for monitoring and enforcement. This lack of clarity may undermine confidence in the department's commitment to accountability, suggesting a potential complacency regarding financial oversight. With regards to irregular expenditure reporting, as part of the committee's in-year monitoring reports, which is the quarterly reports, it's a standard item that whenever the department reports to the committee, they report on irregular expenditure. So in terms of the committee's oversight and a mechanism to check to see whether it has been addressed, if there is any change or if the irregular expenditure has increased or decreased, this is reported on in a quarterly manner, as well as at the end of the year. So these were just the 2 comments, and in both instances, the information was provided to the committee. Again, if we could just get some guidance, Chairperson and members, in terms of these particular points. Thank you.
Yeah, Ms. Abrams, I'm worried because I feel that these issues should have been raised in our interactions with the department. And as you have said to me, indicated to us that the detail was provided. So I don't want us to have a BRRR report that has got factual errors in it. But also, I think the point was made around travel, and that is that this is a department with very little funds, and that we do not want to see those funds spent on international travel unless we are sure that when our department travels overseas, that it translates into action on the ground, or that it leads to the improvement of the lives of our people, or that it contributes to the APP. But that was raised with the department. And I feel that if they did provide the details to us, which you have confirmed, then making these points might be erroneous, and it might actually then have, we've got facts that are not factual. But I will give over to members just to give your inputs in terms of whether you want to keep them or what your thoughts are in this regard. Honourable members? Yes, Honourable Member. Your hand's up, Honourable Tsotsetse.
Thanks, Chair. No, mine was just to concur fully with you that it wouldn't be strategic of us to raise something that was ventilated and got responses in the department. So if it puts us into raising something which becomes erroneous on our part, I think it must wait for the committee meeting so that it gets a proper clarity and maybe moved from the BRRR report.
Thank you, Honourable Member. I agree. I think this is something that can be raised in the next meeting with the committee, with the department, in the quarterly reports. And since we were provided with the details, I would then propose that we remove these two inputs for now. I hope that I'm speaking for all members of the committee. Honourable.
That's in order, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable
Agreed,
Spees.
Chair.
Our whip. Thank you. Our whip. Honourable Chauke.
I would like to say seconded as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you, members. Ms. Abrams, let's continue.
Thank you, Chairperson and members. The next section was comments around either the audit and risk committee or the AG. It's highlighted in yellow for easy reference, but I'll go right there. It was in relation to the audit and risk. The comment was high frequency of deviations. As noted on page 70, 15.52b, the report indicates numerous deviations within a financial year, which raises alarms about operational management. The Audit and Risk Committee's apparent lack of concern or clear opinion regarding these deviations reflects poorly on the oversight role. The persistent pattern of deviation suggests systemic issues in financial governance and procurement practices that require urgent attention. Limited action on financial management. Although the report notes a specific instance of fruitless and wasteful expenditure, it lacks a comprehensive analysis of financial management trends within the department. A thorough evaluation of financial practices is essential to identify and mitigate ongoing risk, which is currently lacking. Chairperson and members, with regards to the last point, Crystal and Tasneem had provided in-depth analysis for the department in terms of the financial management. The department has also provided details within their PowerPoint presentation and in their annual report about their finances. So there is a comprehensive analysis of financial management and trends, and it's also reflected in the BRRR. For additional information, it's in the annual report. And the BRR is just a reflection of some of the key matters. We can't possibly put in everything that's noted within the annual report back into the BRRR. We're trying to be as comprehensive as possible. So the last point, Chairperson members, that's been covered. I think the additional point was around the deviations. And I think the key thing that had come out from this point was the ARC's apparent lack of concern or clear opinion regarding the deviations reflects poorly on their oversight role. The persistent pattern of deviation suggests systemic issues in financial governance and procurement practices that require urgent attention. Chairperson and members, I'll take guidance from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Abrams. But I remember the ARC saying to us clearly that when they were asked about the deviations, I asked them whether they deemed that to be irregular, and they said that at this stage they cannot make that assumption because they do have to investigate these deviations. They also said that it is of concern and that they are keeping an eye and that they will further engage the department on these deviations. So I think then again, the assertion that they are not taking it seriously or they're not playing their oversight role, that is not a true reflection of what had transpired in our meeting. They did say to us they are concerned, they are looking at it, and they are monitoring these deviations. So I would not think we should support B. And in light of the comments that you made around us having covered C, I would again suggest that we consider removing both these inputs, unfortunately. I hope members are okay with that. Honourable members, do you want to keep these points? Or are you okay with us removing them? Honourable Spies?
I'm okay with us removing them, Chair.
Okay, let's proceed. Let's proceed, Ms. Abrams.
Thank you, Chair. The next comment was around the sanitary dignity program, specifically around quality standards. The committee's findings regarding the delivery of non-compliant sanitary products are deeply troubling. There appears to be a disconnect between the department's claims of compliance and the observed realities.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's proceed.
There appears to be a disconnect between the department's claims of compliance and the observed realities, raising serious concerns about procurement processes and the ability to ensure beneficiary health and safety. Immediate corrective actions and stricter supplier vetting are necessary. And then it ends with a question: has there been any attempt to recover funds from the supplier? And if not, why? In terms of the latter, that's a question to be posed to the department. On our oversight, as I've indicated to members, we've identified in Mpumalanga, in that particular province, there was an issue about non-compliance and SABS, which it wasn't approved. The Social Development Department at the time said they were going to look into the matter, but since then we actually haven't received any formal written feedback from our own department into the monitoring and evaluation of that and follow up to see whether anything has been done. So if I can just get some feedback, Chairperson and members, specifically around that particular comment that was provided by Ms. Gasa.
Ms. Abrams, I think in general, we are all concerned about the sanitary dignity program, and we are engaging with the department next week, Tuesday. I would suggest we remove the question because the question can be posed to the department next Tuesday. I don't know what the committee feels about just leaving the general comment about the delivery of non-compliant sanitary products. Any suggestions, any comments, members?
Yeah, Comrade, Honorable Chair.
Yes, I'm comrade.
Yeah.
Continue,
Yeah.
Honorable Shivago.
I think we must leave that comment because it's what we discussed. It was a concern that was raised by the committee. Maybe we can leave that questioning out, but the statement itself or the question itself, not the question, the discussion, it did happen and it was reflected. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honourable Member. I think we are in agreement. We remove the question, but we leave the essence of the input that was provided. Ms. Abrams, you can continue.
Thank you, Chair. The next set of comments was related to GBV. The first one was inadequate focus on male empowerment in GBV programs. And there was 3 comments in relation to that matter. Firstly, neglect of young males in GBV strategies. As highlighted on page 89, 15.86H, the report identifies a significant gap in targeted programs for boys and young men. Since young males can be both victims and perpetrators of GBV, this oversight hampers a comprehensive approach to addressing GBV. The absence of strategic initiative to engage young males in prevention efforts risks perpetuating harmful cycles and limits the overall effectiveness of GBV programs. In terms of limited access to support services, young males often miss out on resources available to girls, such as educational scholarships, mentorship programs, and safety-focused support networks. This gap in access to mental health, emotional support, and healthy relationship education can lead to feelings of isolation among young men, exacerbating GBV issues. And then lastly, the comment was insufficient educational programs. The report indicates the existing educational initiatives for girls, particularly in STEM fields, lack parallel programs for young males. This disparity limits the development of essential life skills that promote emotional intelligence and healthy relationships among boys. And then one more, underrepresentation in advocacy initiatives. Advocacy efforts tend to prioritize empowerment of women and girls, frequently overlooking the importance of including young males in discussions about gender roles and GBV prevention. This exclusion risks alienating young men from actively promoting positive behaviors and challenging toxic masculinity. So, Chairperson and members, these comments were specifically in relation to inadequate focus on male empowerment in GBV programs. We will take guidance from Chairperson and members. Thank you.
Ms. Abrams, I'm just a bit worried because if these specific points were not made during our BRRR engagement with the department, I'm not sure if we can have them to this extent. I think the issues that are being raised are, of course, important. But unless we actually engage the department on these issues to find out whether they do have all of these, you know, the issues that have been raised, if we didn't canvass it with the department, then I'm not sure if we can have it to this extent. I'm not sure how members feel. Honourable Spies?
Chairperson, I do believe that in terms of some of these points, and in particular the ones with regard to the neglect of young males in GBV strategies, is something that I think we have consistently raised over a period of time. And I do believe it's something that should stay there. I would support that. I cannot express, I do not want to express myself on some of the other points that were made, but I do believe that given the report and the time that we were given and up until tonight, where we are considering it and obviously recommending the adoption thereof, that some of these things, I think you're right, should be incorporated in our discussions when we have departments. But some of the issues do carry for me quite a lot of value and weight. And this particular one, I do believe we must incorporate it. The neglect of young males in GBV strategies and the absence of strategic initiatives to engage young males in prevention efforts. That to me, I think is important. And I think we've, over a period of time, in different ways, sort of expressed ourselves on that. Thank you.
No, thank you, Honourable Spies. I think you in particular are one person that has been raising this issue in the committee. So I'm comfortable then that we keep that point. I see two further hands. I can now ask the Honourable Tsotsetse and Honourable Shabango. In that order, please.
Thanks, Chair. I think Honourable Spies articulated exactly what I would have wanted to say around this thing, because I may not have been in the previous meeting, but in the meetings where we've interacted with the department, this has been coming out, and I think that is in order that it must be here. The question of incorporating the boy child on the support program on GBV. Okay.
Honourable Shabango, did you want to just concur with the two honourable members? I did see your hand was up.
Yes, Comrade Chair, I'm covered.
Okay. Then I think for now, we will, members, you are saying you want to keep the first point, which is the point around limited involvement of young men in GBV programs. I think that is a sound proposal, but there were also other proposals. If we just go down, Ms. Abrams. Okay, so we've kept that one, which we think is something that we have often spoken to, and it's something that this committee takes seriously. Ms. Abrams, can we continue?
Thank you, Chair. I think I'll just double check. There may be just one more comment, but other than that, yes. With regards to limited stakeholder engagement, falls under Program 3. The report does not detail how stakeholder feedback has been integrated into program planning and execution. Engaging communities, beneficiaries, and relevant organizations is vital for developing effective initiatives. The lack of this engagement suggests a top-down approach that may not adequately address the needs and realities of those impacted by the department's policies. Chairperson and members, on the issue of stakeholder engagement, the annual report covers at length what the department has done in terms of stakeholder engagement. We've made reference to it, but we haven't gone into detail and listed each and every stakeholder they've engaged with. So the information is there and was even presented and referred to in the PowerPoint presentation. So I'll hand over to Chairperson and members again, just in terms of this particular comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Abrams. I think the point is, it is covered in the reports that we had received. I think the concern is that we want to better understand, in many instances, how the engagements with other stakeholders, how beneficial it is, as we've often said, for the people on the ground. In other words, is it leading to real change? So I think this has been covered. The concern is valid, but I think it has been covered. So I think in this instance here, we need to remove this point. I don't know if honourable members are okay with us removing this input. Okay, I think that means...
Well, okay.
No. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Honourable Shibango? Honourable Matli and Honourable Shibango first.
Maybe
No, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
No, thank you so much, Chairperson. I would like to advise that maybe we can take it off now.
Okay, we will, of course, further make sure that we follow up on those points with further engagements with the department. But I think for the purposes of this BRRR, since we did receive the information on their stakeholder engagements, we'll remove it for now. Honourable Shibango? Is that a legacy hand? Okay. Honourable Abrams, I think, please, can we move towards the end of the report? Is there still more add-ons?
Chairperson, we've covered everything. There was one last input, and that was around apologies. Chairperson, this is just to reiterate, your request was that we make specific the issue around those 2 audit findings that were not addressed even in the responses. So we've added that under the audit action plan recommendation. So it's there, just indicating that we did include it. And then moving then right to the end, the comment received from Ms. Shabangu was that the draft budgetary review and recommendation report identifies several critical areas for improvement within the department. Key issues such as the lack of transparency in expenditures, insufficient focus on male empowerment in GBV initiatives, compliance failures, and inadequate performance metrics must be addressed to enhance the department's effectiveness. A commitment to accountability, stakeholder engagement, and strategic oversight is essential for the department to fulfill its mandate, responsibility, and effectively. Chairperson and members, just to indicate that the BRRR is as much a reflection for the department as it is as the members' views of the NYDA and the CGE. So it's not solely focused on the department. This was our conclusion. The committee affirms the important role of the department, NYDA and CGE, and maintains it would continue to conduct oversight over these entities to ensure the implementation of recommendations by the AG as well as the ARC. The committee reiterates that the portfolio has a key responsibility to ensure that through the target set that the lived experiences of women, youth, and persons with disabilities in the country are improved. In conclusion, the committee urges the department, the CGE, and the NYDA to take its recommendations seriously and implement these expeditiously. So that was our conclusion, and the section in yellow was the additional comment provided by Ms. Gasa. So that would be the last input we take guidance on. Thank you.
No, Ms. Abrams, I think your conclusion will suffice. I do think that while the points that Honorable Gaza is raising, it is repetitive in nature in that we have covered it throughout the report, and I think our conclusion will suffice. So if are okay with that, again, I think we should just remove it in this instance, because all of the points that are summarized here in this yellow bits are actually covered in the report. So I think, members, if we remove this, it doesn't take away anything from what we've already said in our BRRR report. I think it is sufficiently covered, all these points. We are speaking about male empowerment in GBV. We did keep that point. Honourable Spies. Honourable Spies, your hand is up.
Yes, Chair. I just want to concur that I have looked at a lot of the comments, and as much as I think one appreciates it, a lot of it is a duplication of a number of the things that we've already incorporated in the report. So I do concur with you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honourable Spies. I think, members, that is your BRRR report. If any member would like to make any additional comment or inputs, this is now your opportunity.
Chairperson, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
The last comment in the actual comments we received from Ms. Gasa was the MK indicating that they would reserve. That was the, I'll show members exactly. There we go. Therefore, the Mkhonto Party reserves its position. I think that was just important for members to note and understand. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. That is an important point to make. Honourable members, that is your BRRR report. I would like to ask whether you would like to make any additional comments or inputs, and if not, please may I ask if somebody would move for the adoption of our BRRR report, and I also need a seconder. Honourable Adams.
Thank you, Chairperson, and let me also join the other members to congratulate you on your new position. We already work nicely together, so we hope for a smooth working together relationship. Chairperson, with those words, I also wanted to propose the adoption of the BRRR as it is. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Adams, and thank you very much for those words of support. And indeed, we are going to work well together, and we will work in the interests not only of Parliament, but of the people that we serve, and we will do so together. So thank you very much. I will now ask the Honourable Chauke Adonis to come onto the floor to second.
Thank you so much, Chairperson, for that. Chairperson, before I move to second the adoption of the BRRR, I'm not sure if perhaps I might have missed this on the element of the finances for the department, and apologies if I am taking us backwards. I'm not sure which section it is, if it's 16.11 or 15 point something there. There's an element that speaks towards a recommendation made by the committee that speaks to the committee making a recommendation to Treasury. I'm not sure if we've spoken to that. On that recommendation that speaks to the committee making a recommendation to the Treasury to allow for the department to have its last financial budget rolled into the new financial year, carried over.
I think it's point B. Ms. Abrams?
Yes, Chairperson, Ms. Adonis, just so the specific recommendation to Treasury is one of 4. The committee requests Treasury to consider the condonation request by the department and the CGE. So that's for the historical debt. The committee requests Treasury to consider the request for rollover funds for the department and the CGE. That's your point in terms of the rollover. The third recommendation was for the continuation of the PYER in the 7th administration. That's the program that's run by the NYDA. And the committee requests Treasury to reassess the funding allocation to the department, the CGE, and NYDA to optimally implement their respective mandates. So in other words, we're saying their money is not great. Relook at what you're currently giving them in conjunction with the mandate. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Abrams. Ms. Honourable Chauke, are you happy with that?
Chairperson, I just want to find out if these recommendations were recommendations that were taken by the committee from A to the last point. Perhaps if I can get clarity on that, are these recommendations that we took as a committee, or were these recommendations that were made by the department and its entities? Also, when we are saying that the committee is the one that is recommending or submitting to Treasury for the rollover, I want us also to just be cautious in terms of the responsibility that we are then taking as a committee as to opposed to, or as to suppose that it is a recommendation or an ask coming from the department or the entities, and therefore are we then saying that we are endorsing and supporting it, so that we do not find ourselves sort of committing ourselves to something that was not taken or adopted as a resolution by the committee collectively, but rather than to say it was a recommendation or an ask from the departments themselves. Also, in terms of the increase of budget allocation to the 2 entities, which is CGE and NYDA, my recollection, if I am correct, was for us to say that the Treasury and other government entities or departments should consider the support or increase of budget allocated to the department, but not necessarily us saying to the entities within the department, but we were speaking about directly reinforcing their financial capacity in the department itself. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you very much, Whip. I think those were very important points that you have raised. I think when we do say the committee requests National Treasury to consider the condemnation requests, it does take on, it is a resolution of this committee then that we are adopting here. Whereas I wonder, Ms. Abrams, whether we should have said maybe the committee notes the requests to National Treasury to consider, or what is your view in this regard? Because I also think in the point D, we've got as a committee, we've got a problem with the allocation of funding to the department, but not necessarily have got a problem with the funding that is allocated to the CGE and the NYDA. So Ms. Abrams, I just maybe want to get your comments on that.
So Chairperson, if we just working from the last one back, when it comes to, yes, Chairperson, based on the discussions, the concern was definitely around the funding around the department. But through the discussions, When it came to the CG and the NYDA, when it comes to the lack of vacancies, and in order to increase the footprint, more funding would be required. So that's related to the CGE. And part of their business model, one of the questions was, how would you fund and for what would be that business model? And related to that was increasing capacity around legal officers, educational officers, and the like. With regards to the NYDA, again, it's the reach for moving more into rural areas and areas that haven't been reached by the NYDA, and to expand on the programs would require a relook at what they already have. So that's how we've crafted the last recommendation. But we can remove, if members feel better, that we only focus on the department, that the National Treasury reassess the funding allocation to the department to optimally implement its respective mandate. We can leave it at that and remove CG and NYDA. And then in terms of the condonation, this is a historical debt, and we could say the committee request National Treasury, or we could just remove it completely. And then wait for the department to give the committee feedback in terms of whether Treasury has looked at the condonation. So
Yeah,
for A, we can either remove it, and then for D, we can keep department and remove CGE and NYDA.
Okay, I think those are sound proposals. Honorable Chalke, our whip, would you be happy with us just point D? We stop it at department. So the committee requests National Treasury to reassess the funding allocation to the department to optimally implement the respective mandates. And in terms of the points with regards to A and possibly B, well, A, the condonation requests. Are you happy that we remove that because it's not a committee resolution as per se, and we will wait for further guidance from the department? Are you happy with that?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Supported.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair.
Honourable members, I will then have to ask, because we've made further changes to our BRRR document. So I'm going to ask again for somebody to move for the adoption of the report, and then I would need a seconder as well. Honourable Chalke. Honourable Adams.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the adoption of the BRRR report.
Thank you so much, Honourable Adams. Honourable Chalke.
I second the motion to move for the adoption of the BRRR report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, honourable members. I want to take this opportunity again to thank our support team for the wonderful work that they've done. It's absolutely thorough work that they've done in preparing our documents. Members, of course, we have noted the comment by MK that they reserve their rights in terms of not adopting the report at this stage. Honourable members, of course, you are free when we debate our BRRR to raise all further points and inputs that you would like in the National Assembly. Members, we are meeting again on Tuesday. Ms. Nobatana, I think we are meeting on Tuesday on the Zoom platform, if I'm correct, and we will be dealing with a petition around sanitary dignity products. Am I correct?
Yes, Chairperson, you are correct.
Okay. So members, we will meet again on Tuesday via Zoom. For now, I wish all of you a wonderful evening. Be blessed, and we will meet again on Tuesday. And thank you very much for your support. I will endeavor to give this committee all my time, all my energy, and I will endeavor to do the best that I can to serve all of you. Thank you very much, honourable members. Have a great evening, and let's meet again on Tuesday.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you.
Congratulations once again, Chairperson. Looking forward to working with you. Long live the chair.
Thank you, my web.
Congratulations.
Thank you, honourable speakers.
Long live the chair.
Congratulations,
Thank
Chairperson.
you. Good night, honourable members.
Good night.
Hello.
Sleep well, Chairperson.
You too, honourable space.